Picture this. The dishwasher hums in the background. The dog is staring at you like a furry alarm clock, and a disagreement about who forgot the recycling is simmering on the stove. Someone cracks a small, unexpected joke. The tension wobbles, then breaks like thin ice under a warm sun. That tiny moment is the opening to something bigger, because humor in relationships isn't about being silly, it's about staying connected when life pulls you apart. We're whispered hearts. English? And today, we're leaning into a truth you can feel, but can't always explain. Laughter doesn't erase problems, but it changes the room they live in. It softens edges, so two people can keep facing the same direction instead of facing off. If you've ever felt a shared smile cure a day's worth of strain, you already know the map we're unfolding. Think of laughter like a porch light on a late night, guiding you home with a soft glow. Research shows shared humor can reduce stress and help couples regulate emotion faster after conflict. Therapists report that playful moments build emotional intimacy by reminding partners they're on the same team. Have you noticed how a small joke can make your shoulders drop and your breath get deeper? There's a quiet genius to the way a joke passes between two people. It isn't just a punchline. It's a tiny act of cooperation, a micro-promise that says, "I see you, and we still have us." What's one inside joke you've kept alive longer than you planned? But there's something even quieter holding love together. And it's not the joke itself. It's the decision to keep inventing ways to meet in the middle of a long day. It's the resilience to laugh at a problem's shadow, not your partner's face. When was the last time you felt lighter because your partner gave you permission to chuckle at the mess with them? Imagine this on a crisp winter morning. The coffee maker hisses like a tiny steam engine, and one of you accidentally uses salt instead of sugar. There's a beat where the day could start badly. Then, a soft grin turns it into an origin story. Remember the great latte brine? You both smile, and the calendar suddenly feels less heavy. Where does humor in relationships show up naturally in your mornings? Here's a curiosity to carry into your day. The most powerful joke in a relationship isn't necessarily the funniest. It's the most mutual, the kind built in the small spaces between you, shared glances during a loud party, a two-word nickname for a recurring scenario, a little pantomime every time the neighbor's car alarm chirps at 2 a.m. Which tiny ritual could become your private comedy sketch? But to understand how humor saves love in real life, let's step into a living room on a rainy spring Sunday. A couple will call Maya, and Evan are sorting bills, and the mood is grey to match the sky. They're both exhausted, and one irritated sigh almost tips the afternoon into silence. Evan lifts a receipt and reads it like a dramatic monologue, a faux movie trailer voice promising the thrilling sequel to last month's budget. Maya laughs, then winces. It's not perfect. Money is sensitive territory, but the grin opens space for a sentence they both needed. "We're overwhelmed," she says, "and I'm scared we'll miss something important." Evan drops the bit and nods. They talk. Then they play one more scene together, this time listing what's already secure instead of what's unstable. Have you ever used a gentle joke to start the hard conversation instead of avoiding it? Notice what happened. The humor wasn't a smokescreen. It was an invitation to step out of defensiveness long enough to reach honesty. Research shows that playfulness elevates mood and can make difficult topics less threatening, which helps people speak clearly. What would be easier to say if the room were just a little lighter? But there's a trap that too many couples fall into, and you might have stepped near it yourself. Humor aimed at the person rather than the problem turns play into a blade. It's the sarcastic line that lands like a bruise, or the just kidding that hides a criticism. If a joke leaves the other person smaller, it isn't a bridge, it's a wall. What's one line you could retire because it cuts more than it connects? So how do you keep humor safe, warm, and on your side? Think of 3 lanes. The first is laughing together, where both people feel included and respected. The second is laughing nearby, where one person is playful and the other smiles without feeling pressured. The third is laughing later, where a stressful moment is too hot and you bookmark it to laugh about once the heat drops. Which lane could you practice more this week? But the easiest place to start might be where you already are. On a summer evening when the air feels like a friendly hand on your shoulder, take a walk and narrate the world for each other. Playfully predict what the guy jogging with the tiny dog is listening to. Caption the squirrels like a nature documentary. Let the sidewalk become a stage where you improvise kindness for free. What ordinary scene in your neighborhood could turn into a shared smile tonight? If you commute, the car holds 100 chances to lighten the load. Make a commute bingo card with squares for someone singing at a red light or unexpected license plate pun. Create a playful news update about your day in the style of a sports commentator. When traffic stalls, a small ritual keeps the team feeling like a team. What would your bingo board include? But let's talk about moments when humor feels far away. After a sharp exchange, the last thing you may want is to laugh. That's okay. Repair comes first. Try a simple script. I see I hurt you. That wasn't my intention, and I'm sorry. I want to make this safe again. Then add one more step, the question that invites co-creation. Is there a lighter way we can talk about this next time? Have you tried offering repair and then asking for a playful path forward? One couple uses a safe word for potential joke misfires. Yellow light. It means, I know you're trying to connect, but I'm not ready to laugh yet. They pair it with a promise to revisit the moment later and see if it can be repurposed into something gentler. Emotional safety deepens. The relationship learns to hold both care and play. Would a yellow light help you keep humor kind? But shared joy isn't just a practice, it's a memory bank. When the colder months roll in and the days shrink, you need snapshots of laughter to warm the room. Build them intentionally. Keep a tiny note on the fridge with a running list titled Things That Made Us Laugh. When the week is heavy, read 3 lines aloud. Your nervous systems will remember what your calendar forgot. What would be the first line on your list? Whispered hearts. English exists to give you a soft place to land and the courage to keep building. If your relationship feels tired, you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you for wanting more levity. Belonging grows in stories we share and the small rituals we protect. Where could you invite 5 seconds of play to visit your home today? But there's something else that turns laughter into glue. It's how you let it echo. When you find a shared bit that works, an exaggerated announcer voice, a mock debate about which cereal is superior, bring it back strategically. Use it to open conversations that are otherwise hard to start. A familiar joke is a bridge you've already tested. Which bridge could you cross again tomorrow? There's also a gift in noticing how your partner likes to play. Some people love wordplay. Some love physical comedy, like a goofy dance in the kitchen while the pasta water boils. Some prefer quiet humor, like a raised eyebrow that says, I see the irony. When you tailor play to their style, Love feels intimately designed for them. What kind of humor helps your partner feel seen rather than put on the spot? But when you don't share the same style, remember this rule. Consent applies to comedy, too. Ask before teasing about sensitive topics. Keep sarcasm short, infrequent, and never about core identity. If you're unsure whether a joke would land, try a meta-joke instead, like, "I had a joke lined up, but I like peace tonight." The smile you earn will be real. Which boundaries around humor would make you both safer? Stress isn't the enemy, but unshared stress is. Play transforms a tense evening into a manageable one by reminding your nervous systems you are not alone in the storm. Therapists report that couples who create small, repeatable moments of play in the pantry, on the porch, in a checkout line, tend to repair quicker and connect deeper. What is one repeatable moment you could seed this week? But there's more to cultivate than laughter itself. Create a space where laughter is allowed to arrive. Turn off the TV during dinner twice a week and tell small stories about your day's oddities. Find the weirdest item in your grocery cart and give it a backstory. Wrap a mundane moment in a tiny bow and hand it to your partner. What everyday scene could you celebrate in a playful way? When conflict does flare, name impact before you aim for levity. If a joke stung, say, "That landed like criticism, and I need reassurance." If you were the one who misfired, offer the trifecta: acknowledgement, apology, adjustment. "I was aiming for playful. It came out sharp. I'm sorry, and next time I'll check first." Then add a gentle gesture. Pour water, walk the dog together, or sit outside under a soft autumn dusk. How do you want repair to feel in your home? But you can also spark joy by borrowing from your past. Tell childhood stories with a wink. Revive a game you loved in middle school with an adult twist. Put on a song you used to mock and dance like no one's filming. Let shared history remind you that love is bigger than today's schedule. Which memory deserves a comeback tour? Your environment can help. Keep a small joy drawer in the entryway with silly prompts or note cards. On days when words feel heavy, pull one at random. Describe your day as a weather report, or tell me a 2-sentence horror story about laundry. 2 minutes later, the room breathes. What would you place in your joy drawer? But don't forget the power of hopeful anticipation. Plan micro-adventures that promise easy laughter, an outdoor movie night at the park, a stand-up open mic where you cheer for beginners, a board game cafe on a snowy weekend. Keep it low stakes and high warmth. Give yourselves stories to retell. Which small adventure could you pencil in tonight? Sometimes, the best humor is gentleness dressed as wit. It's the way you choose a softer word when you could flex a sharper one. It's the hand on a tense shoulder, and the whispered joke only they can hear. It's a glance across a crowded room that says, "Still us." In what moment could kindness be your funniest line? But here's a final practice that threads joy into the everyday. Create a Daymaker message format you send each other before noon. One playful observation, one tiny gratitude, one laugh. Saw a cat in a baby stroller. Thank you for the coffee. Remember the brine latte? Now your afternoons have a built-in lift. What would your first Daymaker message say? If you've been waiting for permission to play, this is it. The world can be serious. Bills need paying. The calendar keeps marching. Yet a relationship is partly a private country where you decide the laws. You can make laughter legal and common, like turning on the porch light every night. What law of joy would you pass together? But the real reward of shared humor isn't noise. It's closeness. After the laugh fades, the feeling remains. We faced the day as us. Love and laughter aren't separate streams. They braid into one current that carries you through seasons, from spring rain to winter blue skies after a storm. When you imagine growing old together, which silly ritual do you hope never fades? Whispered hearts. English is here to remind you that belonging isn't dramatic. It's in the small scenes you direct together, the unglamorous moments you choose to make tender. If this gave you a breath of relief, hold on to it. If you smiled even once, that's a sign your relationship already knows how to heal itself. What new smile can you plant before the day ends? Let's keep it simple as we close. Play is a practical tool, not a detour. Use it to reduce stress, to build a safe bridge into harder talks, to protect the bond that makes everything else possible. Humor in relationships is not about dodging truth. It's about meeting truth with each other, gently and with grace. On a quiet night, after the dishes are put away and the house is soft, there's a silence where you can hear the hum of your best choices. Return to a tiny shared joke. Breathe. Remember who you are together. Whispered hearts. English believes love is made in these moments, and you are capable of making many more. What's the funniest moment you've shared? When tomorrow comes, bring one playful beat into your morning, another into your commute, and a third into your evening. Notice how your stories lean closer. This is relationship bonding through fun, the practical side of love and laughter, the steady way you build emotional connection through laughter that lasts. Keep it light. Keep it kind. Keep choosing the porch light whenever the night feels long, and keep returning to humor in relationships.